Canada has repeatedly demonstrated a legal commitment to freedom of the press, including shield laws to protect journalists and their sources. However, in a few instances, journalists have been arrested while covering protests, particularly those over Indigenous rights and land usage. These arrests demonstrate that more legal protections or better application of current existing legal protections are necessary for Canadian journalists. Well, again, that may be true. I understand that there were some folks who were arrested at a protest at the Coastal GasLink. I don't know if they really were journalists or if they were just protesters with cameras. I think everyone should have the same freedom. You know that our own reporters were arrested repeatedly. David Menzies was taken to jail for covering the lockdowns in Montreal. Lincoln J., Efron Monsanto. Our own Alexa Lavoie was shot in the leg. Yeah, there are problems in Canada, not just, I don't know, this land dispute thing. Socio-cultural context. Although the majority of Canadians still say that they have some trust in media institutions, overall trust in media has declined recently in Canada. Social media harassment is a threat to journalists with an online presence and is particularly prevalent against female and minority journalists. So you see what they're doing here is they're saying that talking back, clapping back, arguing back, heckling back to journalists is a threat. Now, if there is an actual criminal threat, then go after it. But this is not actually what press freedom is about. Press freedom is not about the freedom of journalists to say whatever they want, usually smearing people on the right, and then the ability to censor the public from talking back. This is a flawed study. Look at this last one, safety. While journalists are typically safe to do their jobs in Canada, reporters covering the 2022 Freedom Convoy to protest vaccine mandates received death threats, were spat on, and were verbally and physically harassed. The window of a CBC Radio Canada news cruiser was broken. So again, harassment or being heckled is the threat to media freedom. No mention of our own reporters being shot with a gun. And it's framed as we need to stop citizens from talking back to journalists. I say again, the threat to journalists, not just now, but throughout history, has not been from private citizens or private companies. It's always been from government. You can see that this rating system is infected with that bias, and they're moving towards journalism is about the elites being able to speak with no populist clapback. This is a completely flawed state. Let me tell you the real state of journalism. I want to tell you 8 examples of how press freedom is being infringed, not from people heckling us or being mean to us, but by the government. And these 8 examples are just Rebel News examples. Example number 1, our friend David Menzies was beat up by Justin Trudeau's personal bodyguards. Remember this?
It needs a lot of paperwork for me.
Stay back. What are you doing? Get off me.
Hey, I can. Hey, this is assault. I'm on a side. What is this? I'm on a sidewalk. I am on a sidewalk. What is this? You cannot touch me. No rushing order. Hey. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Let go of me. What is this? You can't. Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? Because otherwise you have no right. Get out of my sight. Huh? Huh? Get off of me!
Guys, relax!
Get off of me!
You don't think that's worth mentioning? That the Prime Minister's personal bodyguards beat up our journalists and just threw him down so you can go, no charges. You don't think that's worth mentioning? Here's a second example. Maybe this can get your attention. You were talking about the trucker convoy. Alexa Lavoie shot in the leg.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Hold him! Yo, stop it! Stop! Keep him! Stop it! You just fight on progress! You just fight on progress! Okay, girl, you all right? Got shot. Take care. Bring her out. Bring her out. Come on.
Have you seen that covered literally anywhere? I'm not talking about this reporter's ranking now, which is pretty clearly flawed. But did you actually see any coverage of Alexa being shot in the leg by any other mainstream media, CBC, CTV, Global, any of the newspapers? Don't you think that's odd? I don't know if you know this, but I am still to this day being prosecuted by Elections Canada for publishing the book, The Libranos. Still to this day. In fact, we're in the federal court right now. That's example number 3. Example number 4 affects some of our journalists, including me. Sheila Gunn-Reid was blocked from the Environment Canada-run Twitter account of Catherine McKenna when she was still Environment Minister. And I've been blocked by Stephen Guilbeault. I'm not talking about their personal accounts. I'm saying they turned off the government Twitter feeds for me. They blocked me. I'm not talking about what Stephen Guilbeault does as a Liberal or what Stephen Guilbeault does in his personal life. The government-run, government-owned account that broadcasts news and announcements by the ministry, by the department, has blocked Rebel News in the person of me and Sheila Gunn-Reid. If they can turn off that service, they can turn off anything to you. They can ban you from anything. This is a punishment because we ask difficult questions. That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called The Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more. And we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.